Okay, let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name's Neil and I have no idea what I'm doing. But I do know what I want to do. No, that's not true. I do know what I'm trying to do. And hopefully what I'm trying to do will end up being what I do actually want to do. But at this point, I just need to try and do something. And, you know, I know part of what I need to do some of that, which is all very cryptic. No less cryptic than the last video, but still cryptic nonetheless. Okay, so this video is more a test of a format that I want these early videos to be in. Whether that's a thing that continues across the length of the channel, I don't know. But right now I know a format. I don't just want to have me sat here talking at the camera. So I'm going to have this somewhere next to me, probably on this side of me. There is a time lapse of something that I've drawn previously. This video is in part because I need to hold myself more accountable to the things that I'm trying to do. And what happened was I was discussing with some of the people that I work with that I needed to be held more accountable and that this YouTube channel was a part of that, to which they all instantly said, okay, then you've got to get another video. By the time we see you back in work again, we want to see another video has been uploaded. And so here I am. Now, future videos will be a lot more planned than this is. But like I say, I want to just record a bit of footage. I want to put it into this format that I'm going to try out, and I want to get it done and uploaded. Okay, so the background has changed because I was editing the footage from what you've just been watching, and it reached that point, and where it wasn't planned, and it was just me talking at the camera, it just went off on so many tangents that it made it hard to edit the footage together for it to make any sense and keep it relatively concise. So I thought I'll just re-record the bit of footage, and this is the third attempt to try and re-record the bit of footage. So fingers crossed. Okay, as I mentioned, the point of this video is to get something filmed, try out this format with these time lapses, edit it together, get it uploaded in a day. Because if I can do that, from that point I can get quicker and quicker and quicker as I get used to all this equipment and all the editing and stuff like that. Now, the next few videos, as I mentioned, will be more planned, and what they're going to cover is in greater detail, not too much detail, but in more detail, what it is that I'm trying to do right now. This whole, I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know what I want to do or what I'm trying to do. I'm going to cover that in greater detail because it's a bigger picture for me in my life, and I want to document that. But it also relates to what I'm trying to do with YouTube. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, by the way. There are other things that I'm trying to do, and YouTube is just meant to supplement that and to build community and things like that. And so, yes, in the next few videos, I want to cover some of that in greater detail while I get used to filming these videos. So in those videos, I will cover things like who I am and what I do for the people that don't know, what it is that I'm trying to do moving forward, how that relates to some of the projects that people will know about, how that relates to YouTube, but also how that relates to my life in a bigger picture. I think people would expect me, given the fact what I do for a living, what you're seeing in the time lapse here, they would expect me to have some sort of art related YouTube channel, but that's not what I'm going to do because I just don't want to. I've tried to do it before, but you know, I've attempted YouTube previously. There are a few videos in there to prove that, but there's also hours and hours of footage on that computer that every time I tried to edit it all together, it just felt disingenuous. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The main reason, to be honest, is that the art itself is not what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about the creation of worlds and telling of stories and creating characters and creating worlds that other people can play in and that other people can create for. I don't just want to make things that people consume, like comics and stuff. I want to make things that people can play in and that inspire people in the way that I've been inspired in the past to do what I do now. You know, I'm eternally grateful for the fact that I can draw. It's given me an amazing life and, and an amazing career, and I am very grateful for that. But I'm not actually passionate about the drawing part. I learned to draw because I wanted to tell stories and create worlds when I was a kid, because I was so inspired by Star Wars. And then from there, that turned into things like Dungeons and Dragons, and I wanted to be able to get all of them ideas that I had in my head out. And so therefore, the art side of it is just not something I want to spend time with on YouTube. And second to that is because there's a lot of people doing that on YouTube already. And I can just direct you to them. It's not that, you know, it's not that I don't want to help people learn how to draw if that's what they want to do. I certainly do. Yeah, but there are other people on YouTube already doing that much better than I would ever be able to do that. And so all of that combined, no, I don't want to do an art related YouTube channel. I'm going to do a YouTube channel which is documenting the process of me moving forward while I, you know, focus on the things that I am passionate about, which at this point is tabletop gaming, RPGs, miniature gaming, board games, card games, things like that. And that is, on a personal level, what I am trying to create going forward. And I'm going to document that process. And why I'm documenting it is because, one, it might be helpful to other people for sure. That because as I learn new skills, as I try things out to try and get these games made and released, I will show my failures as well as my successes, and maybe people seeing that, it will help other people who are trying to do the same. But also, I think YouTube is a great place for building community. I think that there are channels that inspire me. Two that I can think of off the top of my head: Toby Lancaster and Blue Biotics or Blue Botics. I can't think of the guy's name that runs it right now. I'll put the links down below. But both of those channels talk frequently about how much they appreciate the community they've built, and I would like to build something similar. You know, I don't want to just create in a vacuum, and we don't have to these days. And I think YouTube, of all of the platforms available to us, is the best platform for that. Hence why I'm going to make these videos. So no, the channel won't be about art, but I will cover creating games and creating content for games and creating worlds and building worlds and fleshing out characters and all of those things. That's what the channel will be about mostly. There's a few other little bits that I want to do along the way, and as I do those, you know, I want a document of those for myself, and they might be beneficial to other people. Hopefully they will. And so while there won't be tutorials per se about any of the things that I'm doing, there will be, this is how I'm doing this. This is how I learned to do this. This is where I learned to do this. And this is what I think of those things. And then I can point people towards those things. And so finally, alongside that, the channel will be a bit more personal in some respects. I've weighed up whether I should have a separate channel, but at this stage, with this few subscribers, it doesn't matter one way or the other whether I put it all in one channel or not. And so for the time being, I'll keep it all in one place. And that is to document things as I try and turn my life around a little bit, because things aren't exactly where I want them to be. I'm not just talking about the career and the other stuff I've just discussed. In my personal life, things aren't exactly how I want them to be. And so as part of this process of trying to get some of my own ideas finished and released and out there into the world, I also want to turn my life around a little bit. You know, my life isn't bad by any stretch. It's just not turned out quite the way I want it to be, to quote Nickelback. And I want to kind of try and change some of that. There's bits about my health that I would like to change, and I'm going to document that both for myself and for anybody else it might help, because I think as a guy in my early 30s, I wish, as a guy in my early 50s, you get to a point where it's like, if I don't change it now, when am I? If I don't get my life into the sort of shape that I want it to be in, if I don't get myself into the sort of shape that I want to be in, when am I going to do it? You know, so without going too far down that path, you know, that's another thing I want to document on the channel. Like I say, I will talk about all of these things in a bit more planned detail over the next few videos, but I wanted to get this video made today for the reasons that I mentioned, but also to get the ball rolling and to prove to myself that I can do it. I mentioned that in the last very rambly video, but there's no point in me saying, oh, I'm going to make videos, and then I make that video at the end of last week and then I don't do another one. So yes, I want to get this done and finished and edited and uploaded. So that's what I'm doing. If you made it this far, that's a miracle, because yeah, I am just waffling on. Don't really know how to end these, so I'll just leave it there, and until the next video. All right, cheers, bye.